Order Mark here with Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 review. No, episodes 1 and 2 review. This is my favorite isekai next to slime. So, I thought, why not do reviews? So with episode 1, we start with Rudius traveling on a caravan. His whole vibe is just killer. Like, I can't stand this version of Rudius because he's just sad. But I do love his design. Bro is definitely getting the show this season. So he meets two people in the caravan, one named Suzanne and Sarah. Suzanne is tough. He's giving off these weird vibes. Obviously, he's having trouble to connect socially given everything that happened with Iris. And he's giving really shallow answers. So the girl Sarah kind of goes off on him, and she seems like another version of Iris, exactly his type. The type to go be overly emotional, but probably really soft. But they arrive in town, and Rudius goes and gets a room, and he sits and he lays in it. I understand that you're depressed, Rudius, but this vibe is just, it's like being excited for a concert and the friend that you're going with is kind of bringing you down. Like, that's what Rudius is doing for me. He joins the guild and he ends up running into Suzanne and Sarah again with their guild called Counter Arrow. Suzanne, I like her character because she's like the overly protective mother type. And so she asks Rudius to, join them. And he responds with a yes because he's kind of in this state where he's just a yes man. Where, if you keep pestering him, he's going to say yes to everything. So he accepts to go with them, meeting the rest of the members. Timothy is the leader, and they also have a tank and another support magician. And so their mission is basically to hunt these grizzlies and sell their pelts. So the mission is going pretty smoothly and everything's cool until Rudius notices that there's another group heading for them. So they get into this dire situation where they have to fight for their lives. Rudius's first reaction is the right one. Bro, all right, let's get to it. But then he gives up. And this is what I mean. I hate this version of Rudius, man, because he's just like, well, what's the point? Bro, you did not go through everything you went through, going through the monster continent, losing your mother, and getting your sister and everybody back together, just for you to lose to some bears, bro. We not going for that. But Suzanne covers them, and the entire guild fight for their lives as they should. And I love the camera shot here with them surrounding and protecting him, and him going through this emotional thing where, why am I getting excited? Why am I enjoying this? The heat of the battle. And it appears that Rudius just simply forgot that being an adventurer is fun. Doing this type of work has been something that he's enjoyed. So he finally stops acting like a weakling, because I know you guys are like me. I hate it in any anime when a character is acting particularly weak when we know they're strong. And it's not about being arrogant or being overly flamboyant about it. It's just like, bro, why you acting like you ain't really put shit down before? He ends up, casting one of his fireball spell that ends up torching all the grizzlies, and everything ends well. Within these few minutes, it seems like his character has grown a lot emotionally, and he acknowledges and thanks Suzanne for even bringing him. So me, I was happy to see that he at least, recognizes that he has some self-worth. So 7 out of 10 for that episode. Nice way to come back. But episode 2, I am not enjoying it as much. Our boy has become famous in town. He's doing a bunch of jobs. It seems like he's getting back to himself. Everybody knows him and he's being a bit cheerful. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And it's been a few months. So he's worked with Counter Arrow quite a few times. So he ends up running into Sarah and she invites him to go on a new mission. This mission is to collect snowdrake scales. And so they go to this cavern. And they get into another life or death situation. Hope this whole life or death situation doesn't become a constant thing because this has been used twice already. Everybody runs away and Rudius stalls, and it appears that they all left them. Now, this temporary few seconds, there's a lot of emotion going on here with Rudius. So he looks sad that they left him, but also happy that they got away. It's just like he's still battling with this depression, with everything that happened with Iris. I was hoping that we kind of skipped past this already. Within these few months, he's gotten a bit used to being an adventurer again. But as it turns out, they didn't actually leave him. He was, being overly emotional. And I also noticed that every time he needs to cope, he pulls out the panties. I know how that sounds. Nonetheless, Counter Arrow comes back out, helping him defend and defeat the snowdrakes. And again, it's one of these things where I wish Rudius would stop acting like he's weak, because he could probably body all those snowdrakes no problem. It just, whenever he gets into these situations, he just seems like he tenses up or he forgets himself. Being that he one-shot all the grizzlies last episode, I thought that he would be good now. This guy solo pairs with his group, group. They're getting rid of the drakes as well. After the clearing, the guy's soul socks Timothy. Now me, I'm looking at this shit like, ain't no way bro just sock bro like that. And I like his group because everybody's with the shits, including Suzanne and Sarah. But Timothy tells them to chill, and I don't like characters like Timothy. I don't like the passive guys. Like, bro, this man socked you. Like, we got rumble now. But there's a misunderstanding, and they end up clearing it up, and Soul even apologizes. So he's not a complete dick. But they end up, finishing their mission, collecting the scales, and leaving. They go back to the tavern to celebrate, and Rudius actually joins them. Soul comes in drunk. He goes on a rant, first of all, apologizing to Timothy, but letting them know, like, yo, you're a man. Stand up for yourself, bro. And I agree. Soul analyzes Rudius, and I love it because it was extremely accurate. He says that Rudius is putting on a face like he's the only one who's ever suffered, and that's a bit of a reach, but it's also true because it's like I felt like this entire episode, including the last episode, that Rudius' smiles are fake. Like, it doesn't seem legit. Like, he's putting on a front like he's actually happy. Like, bro, if you're not happy, don't be happy. Don't force yourself to be happy. Like, don't pretend. Mostly people who know you can read that, but this guy so obviously is somebody who is good at reading people, and Rudius is put in a very uncomfortable position. I thought that Rudius dealt with most of these feelings in the last episode, so it's just like, are we going back to the depression state? Like, what's happening here? Like, it's been months now, so bro should have processed a lot of these emotions already. But to make matters worse, I hate Rudius' response. Why are you apologizing to this man? Like, I apologize for being an eyesore? Like, that's cringe as fuck, bro. Like, no, bro. Like, if anything, defend yourself. Like, fuck you, mind your business. But you apologizing? Like, this version of Rudius is fucking terrible, bro. I hate it. But moving forward, Rudius is in the guild, and he runs into Saul again, and he still doesn't like Rudius. But Suzanne, Timothy, I forget the tank guy's name, but they come into the guild missing Sarah and Mimir, and it appears that they're both dead. That's what Suzanne says. Mimir is really dead, and Sarah is just missing. But there's a snowstorm. This is pretty obvious. Rudius has built a weird relationship with Sarah to the point where she kind of likes him, but kind of doesn't like his attitude because he's not being legit. So Rudius goes off into the storm. First of all, he cancels the storm, and that's what I mean. Stop acting like you fucking weak, bro. You can stop a whole storm. He goes through the forest and he bodies all the buffalo, no problem. Thank you. Please show your strength. You are really like that. He ends up finding Sarah trapped in this tree monster, ends up saving her, and they end up in a cave together. She appears to have taken a massive liking to him, kind of a damsel in distress being saved syndrome. So she's been saved and now she likes him. And that's fair because, she probably would have died. But he brings her back to counter Arrow, and Timothy and Suzanne, everybody's really thankful for it. Really apparent now that she really likes him. And that's good, but it's kind of like Rudius has enough love interests. He has enough girls that he hasn't seen, and it's just like, okay, we can add another one, but let's be real here. This episode was more of a 5.5 out of 10 for me. I really dislike Rudius' emotions in this chapter because I thought he may have dealt with a lot of it, especially with months going by. But he's being fake, and then he goes on this boss mission to save Sarah. That part of it was cool, the process of it, but it's just like, even when he did it, he wasn't necessarily hopeful on finding her. Like, kind of just guilt tripping himself to do it. But that's the review. I hope you guys enjoy this. I love this isekai, so I'll try to get these out a little bit quicker. But thanks, guys, and I'll see you for episode 3.